In this video, we're going to see if we can get this to quit making such a mess. So sit back and we'll dig into it and see what the problem is. So what we're working on today is my 1958 Case 311B that I got from my father-in-law about 10, 11 years ago. He named it Betsy, so that's what we're going to call her. But basically, I use this around my property here at home, primarily for brush hogging in the summertime. And what's happened here is I'm getting a leak back here from the PTO shaft here. So I think what happened was I was brush hogging some really tall grass, and it got wrapped around the PTO shaft and built up and actually worked its way inside past this guard here and boogered up the seal there, so she's leaking. So we're going to attempt to take it apart and see if we can replace the parts in there. So first thing I'm going to do is take off this here plate. So hopefully I can do this one-handed here, but we'll give her a shot. Got my magnetic parts catcher up here. Oh, those are actually coming off easy. Well, they're covered in enough hydraulic fluid, so they should, right? Actually, it's not hydraulic fluid, it's rear end fluid, or yeah, gear grease, but you know, you get the idea. All right, plate's off. Oh boy, what do we got going on here? Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take some brake clean and clean that up, and we'll see what we're dealing with here, so stay tuned. All right, so I think I'm on the right track here. So if you look in here, I've been digging stuff out of here, and this is like pieces of grass and stuff that have built up, and you can see as I'm pulling on it, it's like worked its way into the seal there. So it's gone in there and it's boogered up that seal. So yep, I'm on the right track here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this cleaned up here, and we're going to work on getting this bad boy off, and I'll bring you back once we're ready to take that off. So stay tuned. All right, I went ahead and I removed my top link there, and then I disconnected the engagement for my PTO here. Get that out of the way. Still got a little bit more cleaning to do, but basically what I have to do is I have to take off these bolts. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts for that housing, and this should slide right out, and I should be able to replace my seal in there. So what I'm actually going to do is take this outside and park it on a decline, nose down, so that gravity will shift some of that rear end fluid forward. So hopefully I don't lose it all when I dump it out. It's probably not going to work the way I want it to, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. So I'll get it set up out there, and then we'll remove this housing and see what she looks like on the inside. So stay tuned. All right, I'll actually give you guys a bonus cold start video because I know a lot of you tractor guys like hearing cold starts. So we'll go ahead and we'll turn on our fuel. Okay, I know it's got fuel in there. I already checked. Hop up here. I got a dead battery too, so I'm gonna have to boost it. Okay, let's see. We'll go full throttle, full choke, turn the key and see what happens. Burn like a kitten. All right, we'll go ahead and pull it out. All right, we got our tools. Let's see what happens when we pull off this cover. Now, I don't think I'm quite at enough of a decline to help my situation here, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'm going to lose quite a bit of fluid here. I've never taken this apart, so I'm hoping this is how this will slide right off. course, the last one doesn't want to come off easy. There we go. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Might have to go get a dead blow to... Yep, I'm going to go get a dead blow to loosen that up. I'll be right back. Alright, let's see if we can free this up now with a dead blow. Just give her a couple tappies around and see what happens. Oh, you know what? I might not even have to take this housing off. I might be able to just do it right here. Hold on one second. Let me just tighten that back up quick. Well, I told you I never took this apart before, so I guess you don't have to take off this housing here. Looks like you just have to take this off here. So, I've been working it back and forth with a pry bar. It's on there real tight, probably because there's all that goo stuck up in that seal there. So I'm just kind of working it back and forth. Oh, there we go. She came out. Perfect. Yep, we are losing some fluid here. Okay. Yeah, you can see here inside that seal. Look at all that stuff that got pushed in there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean. Whoop. I do have a new gasket for this, by the way, so don't worry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up all this goo around the shaft here. My bearing looks good. Nothing made it to the bearing. There's no play, no up and down, so that's all okay. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the surface really good. Clean this out, and then we're going to go inside the shop and knock out this seal. So let me get this cleaned up, and then I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Stay tuned. So I'm back in the shop here, and I'm trying to dig I was starting to dig the seal out of the housing, and I thought that was the outside of the seal there, but as it turns out, that was just caked in grass and dirt and debris. I mean, look at all that. Look at that fiber and everything. That's all caked in grass from cutting from decades. So yeah, no wonder that thing was leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and keep digging this out. I'll show you once we actually get down to the seal. I'll show you how we're going to remove the seal and then what we're going to do to put the new ones back in. So stay tuned. Alright, well, we've gotten down to the actual seal surface here. So looks like this is a felt seal that's in here on this part, and it is all chewed up from all that grass being stuck up in there. Whereas on the back side here we got a rubber seal, you know, the rubber part of it. That looks a lot better, but I feel like there's the root of our problem there. So we got to get this old seal out. So what I'm going to do is get a seal pounder, set it up here, and pound it through. I'll set you up on the camera and show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, so we're set up here. So basically what I'm doing here is I've got the vise spread out here so that the large side of the seal fits right in there without the vise actually clamping down on it, because I don't want to make marks on it. I've got my seal pounder here. Actually, it's a bearing race pounder, but it works great for seals as well too. But basically, you want to find in the kit here, you want to find the one that fits your hole the closest here. So this is going to be the one. Try to center it, and I should just be able to give it a few whacks and it'll pop out. It's already moving, I can see that. All right, we'll just keep going. Yahtzee. Okay, now we'll get that, make sure that's all cleaned up inside there, and we will get our new ones in. So stay tuned. All right, so old seal is out, and here's the new seals. So basically, what I've been told and from doing online research, I could be wrong. Correct me if I am, but this is the old seal, and it has been superseded. So what you have to do is buy 2 of the new seals, okay, in order to replace the one old seal. You can see, you know, they're the same diameter, and they're about the same thickness too. So it should work. So you're essentially making yourself a double seal here, I guess is what it comes down to. I'll put a link in the description, because I don't have it handy right now, but a link in the description of the part number and where I got these from. And then here is the gasket for the housing, so along with the part number there. I'll put a link in the description there for that as well. All right, so basically now I have to pound in my new seals. So how do these go? Well, obviously this faces inward toward the tractor. The other side faces out towards the end of the PTO, or towards the brush hog, I guess, in this case. So the seal has one side that has a spring, and then one side that's smooth. Okay, so the spring side needs to go towards the inside, or towards the fluid. Reason for that is when fluid pressure builds up, it puts pressure on here and it squeezes it, and it helps that spring put pressure on the shaft to help the oil seal better. So that's how these need to both be put in there, okay, stacked like this. So how are we going to do that? This is pretty thin metal. So the method I'm going to use is, well, first of all, I'm going to grab some Permatex. 1 second here. I'm just going to smear a little bit of Permatex around the outsides there, just to help make sure I have a good seal. All right, make sure there's no, in case there's any pitting or anything in there. That way I can have peace of mind that I'm going to have a seal. And Permatex actually does also help this slide in. It kind of acts as a lubricant a little bit too. So just put a nice thin coating all the way around this guy. 1 second, we'll work it around. Okay, there we go. So anyways, seal needs to go this way, okay? So what I'm gonna do is take my same bearing race driver kit, and I selected a larger component, one that is slightly wider than what this seal is. I'm gonna use that to pound it in. Okay, so I'm getting myself set up here on the vise. I'm actually gonna narrow the vise down a little bit so I have a nice flat surface to pound on. But you wanna try to hit this thing as evenly as possible. And you don't wanna really beat the snot out of it because you can damage that metal. So hopefully I can do this without damaging the metal. So I'm gonna hold it flush and start tapping it in. You can see it's starting to go. It's getting a little uneven. So we're gonna put a little bit of pressure to that side. There we go, now it's starting to go in nice and even. So we'll pound that down as far as we can get it. Okay, now it's flush. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the other seal. So again, I'm gonna put a nice light coating of Permatex on there. I did go ahead and I maybe mentioned it before, but I cleaned out the inside of the housing really good with brake clean to make sure that there was no debris in there. Okay, almost done. A little bit of more on there. Whoop. Don't leave any skippers. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. All right, spring out. Centered as best we can. Give her a couple slow taps. Okay, it's going to be a little bit tougher because you're driving in 2 seals at once here, but it is going. Okay, I'm going to wipe off that excess Permatex here. Get it off my driver too, so that's all clean. And then let's see how we look. Okay, so that looks like it's in there pretty good. What I might actually do is see if I can drive that down a little bit farther. I'm going to take my old seal, set it on here, and try to use that to drive it down since it's the same diameter. And see if I can get this to seat a little bit farther, because on this side you can see there is a decent gap there. So we're going to try to see if we can get that pushed down a bit more. And then hopefully still get that seal up. Actually, then I'm going to take my... Here's what we're going to do. We'll do it like this, all right? Try it that way, because that's the way it went in. There we go. They're starting to work down now. Okay, See how we're flush there now? Now I should be able to pop my old seal out. It's worked in there a little bit. I might just have to put it in the vise here. Give it a turn. Clamp it on and maybe give it a wrap with the hammer from underneath. There we go. Now we're free. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll clean this bad boy up. Like that. Looking real good. Now we'll head on out to the tractor and get everything reinstalled. So stay tuned, I'll bring you back out to the tractor. All right, here we are, folks, back out at the tractor. I took my gasket and I just test fitted it on my housing here. I guess that would be the retainer, to see how it fits. It looks like it fits pretty good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some grease, smear it around here to help the gasket stay on there. I'm going to take some grease, smear it all around in here inside the new oil seal to help it stay, help it slide on easier. And I'm going to take it and put it all around the shaft here too, just to make sure everything slides on, because the last thing you want to do now is ding up that rubber inside that seal, you know, once you put it on there. So go ahead and get a pump of grease here on the finger. Okay. Go ahead and just smear it around here. It's going to help that gasket seal a little bit better, and it's going to help it stay in place while I'm, you know, monkeying around here trying to get the seal on. Go ahead and take some grease for the seal itself. Can be sloppy with it. Can't have too much. You can't have too little though. So go ahead, smear that all in there. Yep. Make sure to get this outside surface here. I guess that's the inside surface, but that's the one that's going to be making the first contact with everything in there. Make sure you smear that all in there nice and good here. Okay? And we'll take that and we will do the same thing on the shaft. I'm going to take a little bit more for the shaft, but you'll get the idea. I'm going to especially get it here where it's starting to get that smeared all around there. Good, healthy coating. I did also go ahead and I cleaned up this surface here too to make sure there's no debris on there. All right, we're greased up. Let me get my new seal on the on the retainer. There we go. And then I'm gonna also put some on the other side of that seal as well, or that gasket as well. Make sure we have a good seal right from the start. Okay, all right, time to slide this bad boy on. So it looks like, let's see here, the 3 holes are not, it's not like a perfect triangle on there, so it looks like you go like this. All right, so slide that bad boy on there nice and easy. Yep, be careful here of that lip too. Don't force it if it gets stuck. You can give it a little wiggle, but don't just try to horse it on there. Okay. So this part, you may want to try to start your bolts in there just to try to make sure things are going to line up. You can see my gasket shifted on me a little bit. There, that looks good. There we go, we're actually in where we need to be. I think I switched one of my bolts here. I think one of these is actually, let me think here, do this. Yeah, this guy is actually the one that's supposed to go in here. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and snug this guy up. Just kind of do it in a sequence like this so that it goes on evenly, because it is a tight fit with like the casting in here sliding in the casting there. Don't over torque these. You don't want to snap them off. Okay, I think we're good. All right, now I'll take it down on flat ground and we will fire up the tractor and turn on the PTO and see if we have any leaks. I'm going to clean up all the drippiness here too, just to make sure that nothing appears to be dripping when it's actually not dripping. So stay tuned and I'll get you back down on the flat ground. All right, we're back on flat ground here. I actually went ahead and I topped off our transmission fluid here, our rear end fluid, by checking this dipstick here and filling it up right there. So took a couple quarts, but we're full now. So just go ahead and tighten that back up. I'm just gonna snug it for the moment. I'll tighten it back up once I'm done here, but now we'll set you back up and we'll take a look at that PTO. So here we go. I'll get you in here as close as I can and we can try to look for leaks. All right, so I'm gonna get up on the tractor, fire it up, engage the PTO, and then we'll see where we're at. Well, looks like we're dry to me. All right, I do have to take those bolts back out and put the that cover back on. Then I got to put my PTO lever back on, and put my top link back on. So let me go get that stuff and I'll set you up and we'll get that stuff back on. All right, here we go. We'll do our PTO lever first. Just like that. Put my janky cotter pin in there. I should replace that cotter pin, but I'm going to pretend I didn't see that and just leave it the way it is. It's been like that for who knows how long, so it's going to stay. Yeah, you can laugh all you want, but you got to work with what you got, and you know, right now this is what I got. Okay, now we'll go ahead and remove these bolts again. Okay. Put our cover on. Okay, just make sure we're centered on here as best we can. Oh, I know what I did. Silly me. See, even people make mistakes on camera. So some of these bolts are longer. I need the longer bolts for these, not the shorter bolts. Okay, well, we're gonna have to figure out which ones our longer ones are. So I'll let you guys watch just so you can, you know, see that the struggle is real sometimes. I thought they were all the same length, but I was mistaken. Let's see. Okay, there's a longer one. Put him to one side here, and we will replace him with this one. Check this one over here. Oh, that's a shorter one. Oh wait, nope, that's a longer one. Okay, we just got to find where the other one went. I think I actually put it down here. Yeah. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? All right. Well, we learned something here. That's why it seemed funny when I was trying to put it together before, because I I thought there was longer ones in here, but they seem like they're going to be too long. But then I wasn't thinking that that plate needed to go on there. Now we know. Okay. Right about there. Do-si-do. Okay. Now we can get our top link on. Just make sure that engages as it should. Yep. Okay. All right, top link. All right, so I think this is kind of a hodgepodge. I'm not sure if this is original or if this is how my father-in-law did it, but we have a spacer that goes in here. The shaft slides in. We have another spacer. Then we put our top link in there, I believe. Or not. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I think it goes like that. All right. So then we put our spacer over here. Oh, let me see. Okay, and then he did have one spacer here, but not on the other side. Okay, now we put a cotter pin through here. I guess I should have taken a picture of this before I took it apart, but I didn't. But that should be how we were. Okay, well, everything is back together. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Anytime I do little projects like this, I try to film it so that I can help somebody else out that might have to do a similar task. So I'm always looking for suggestions on things to do. If I did anything wrong here, please let me know and I will address it. So other than that, I'll see y'all in the next video. So take care.